let's do this just kind of on a separate little area here. Go ahead and do another horizon line, as well as 2 new focal points or vanishing points. And I'll let you choose. You can either do above or you can do below the line. I don't really care. And somewhere there, it can be in the center or off on the side here, go ahead and throw down a nice, pretty decent sized vertical line, right? It's maybe double of what we normally work with, a little bit bigger. We're going to make one massive cube is what we're going to be doing. And then whenever you do that, go ahead and pull it back in 2 point. So we get kind of that nice V shape to start with. Then of course we cut it off. So we get kind of our 2 front exterior pieces. Right? And then the last step is, of course, we need to pull those pieces back into space by kind of crisscrossing our lines. So, crisscross. Like you want to jump. Okay. Just me. Cool. Okay. Give you a couple seconds there just to hammer that out. Like I said, you can do it above or below. It's all the same to me. And if you find you're drawing below the dot and you're like, man, I really wanted to do an above, like I'm looking up at it, then you just rotate the paper, right? Whoa, what? Now it's the other way. See? Magic. Okay. So, again, remember to stop me if I'm going too fast for you or something. But, so, here's what I want you guys to do, or at least attempt, right? Remember that we talked about before with the kind of 1-point perspective idea of kind of drawing those letters going back into perspective, right? So if I took like a flat square and I wrote a letter on here, I'll do like the letter A. That's the grade I get, not you, me. I would get an A++, of course. Okay, anyway, so if I had a square, if I was looking right at the letter A, it would look something like that, right? And what I'm going to do is kind of skew that letter, and obviously it's going to skew and kind of change how it looks, and this horizontal line is now going to go back to the dot. So I would do something, kind of like this here. And then I'm going to go back to the dot for that, because even that horizontal line is going to get a little bit wider as it comes toward me. Okay, so this stuff should already make at least somewhat sense, right? Now, if we take this idea and we do it in a whole bunch of different directions, then we can start having a little bit of fun with this cube. So what I want you to do is this. Go ahead and pick a 3-letter word. It can be like your initials. It could be, I don't know what, but. Yeah, you can do that. That's fine. Yeah. Whatever the heck you want, go ahead and pick a 3-letter word. Of course, what am I going to pick? What else? Poo. That's what I'm going for. This is how I feel about the project sometimes. The poo. So I'm going to go ahead and block in my letters. Now the key is this. You don't have to round your letters. Keep them nice and squared off and blocky looking, kind of Robotronic. It's going to make your life a lot easier. But go ahead and try to put a letter, right? A letter on each one of these faces, almost like a little kid's wooden block, right? I'm going to do one here. So if this totally doesn't make sense to you, I'm going to do one for you, and then you can obviously do the others yourself. So for the letter P here, I'm going to first think about the verticals, right? I've got a vertical line here, so I'll have kind of a vertical line taking up my square there. Then I've got these kind of 2 horizontals. So I'm going to go back, because it's horizontal, I'm going to go back to the dot here, kind of make this shape. So again, you kind of get this little bit of a cone kind of forming there. Do the same thing up here, just like so. And then at this point I've got an F, so all I have to do is close it off, and I've got my letter P. That's it, right? And obviously I can adjust these lines and whatnot, and I could do one on the top for my O, one on the other side for my other O. All right, go ahead and give that a try. I want to see if you guys can muscle through that. You should be able to. Okay, all right, cool. All right, so let's mix it up a little bit. All right, find a fresh little spot. Doesn't have to be a brand new page if you don't want it to be. Just find a fresh new spot. Again, we're going to lay down a new horizon line. Bless you. All right, so something that we're running into a little bit with our practices, right? What you notice is all of our practices, they always look like they're hovering, right? They're kind of floating above each other, right? They're not actually touching, right? And I want to make a cube sandwich. Delicious. So here's how it's going to rock and roll up. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw down a line. So wherever you want to above your horizon line, throw it on a vertical, wherever you want. Now I'm going to make a stack of 3 just like we did a second ago, but I want them to look like they're actually like touching. So I'm going to show you a little trick of the trade. If I take this kind of edge, right, and I kind of imagine, now you don't have to actually draw this, just kind of imagine for a second, right, going like, doot, 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 almost like a right angle, right, okay, right, and then I'm going to draw my next line, like that. Sound effects help, by the way, in case you're wondering. And then I'm going to go, doot, 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 doot. Again, a nice little right angle, and right there, right? So it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing that we did down here. But the key is the distance of these lines away from each other, basically this gap, is what makes it look like they're hovering, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pulling these guys back into space. Now you're going to see they're going to start overlapping on each other, and that's A-okay. Remember that the one below our horizon line we can see the top of. The one at our horizon line we can only see the 2 sides. And the one above our horizon line we can only see the underneath of. And try to give it a go. See what happens. At this point, does this kind of idea, again, it's literally the exact same thing we just did to open the day. The only difference is because those are a lot closer together, those kind of edges there, the corners, because these corners here are a lot closer together, they look like they're stacked on top of each other. If I put, however, if I put one of those corners, like, let's say, right here, right? Look how it's kind of in the way a little bit, right? Eventually it's going to start looking as if my cubes are starting to like merge with each other, right? This one's just barely making the cut because it's kind of hanging off the edge. But I promise you, eventually things are going to start like merging. You'll have like parts sticking out of everywhere, and I don't even know what's going on. Just everything's floating around. It's going to look weird. So be a little bit cautious of where these edges are always in your 2-point design projects, because these edges are what dictate where everything else goes to. Cool? Does this kind of stuff make sense? Yeah? Coolio? Kind of? Sort of? Okay. All right. Enough of blocks. Let's do something else. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. On a totally fresh, brandy new page, right? Okay? On a totally fresh, brand new page, go ahead and throw down at least half the page. You can do a whole if you'd like to, but at least half the page. Go ahead and throw down a, again, horizon line. And 2 little focally points right there, 2 little vanishing points. Okay. Now here's the deal. What I'm going to ask you to do is basically this. If you would, whenever you're looking, whenever you're looking over all of these textbooks here, all you have to do is find 5. That's all you need to do. So find 5 textbooks, or a stack of 5 textbooks at least. You are more than welcome to do more, okay? But find a stack of at least 5 textbooks that you like. There's something neat about the rotation, I don't know what, but you like.